Welcome to the Moto Moves podcast. Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Moto Moves podcast. It's your host, Bianca, and we have a special guest returning today, Jenna Carlton, the Millennial Veteran. If you already follow her on social media, she's back. Hi, Jenna.
Hello, Bianca. I'm so happy to be here with you this morning.
I'm so excited too. Yay. Thank you for being here. And for those that maybe don't know you or don't follow you yet, would you like to give a little bit of background for them?
Sure. So I'm known online as the Millennial Veteran. I do a lot on Instagram. We also have a Facebook group called the Millennial Veterans, which is just a positive place for veterans on the internet with lots of, inclusivity, positivity. And I'm a U.S. Navy veteran, and I also work for the federal government for now.
Okay, well, thank you. And then also, you're the creator of this awesome
Yes.
workbook, right? So I know last time I'd mentioned that I always like to look into read or whatever my guests have done, right? Look into their work. And so I got it right after I think our first workbook, but as you know, my life has been upside down. So,
Yes.
but I got two, and my plan is I'm going to do it with my husband because he's a veteran too.
Oh my gosh, I
Yeah,
love
so I want to do it together. He doesn't know yet. I guess he'll find
that.
out after this. But
Yes.
yeah,
Please
so
share that with me, or like if you could get a picture of his reaction or anything, I would love that if
yeah,
he's okay with that.
I wanted to record and stuff and maybe potentially make an episode out of it because I want to see,
Yes.
yeah, I want to see how we both I don't know, we both respond to it. I want to do it
Mm-hmm.
together, but I want to see like the difference or similarities in our responses to the journal, to the prompts. And so that was
Yeah.
that's been my plan. I just haven't been able to do it, but I was like, oh, I want to record. I want to just do like a little process recording of it. So I'm super excited. And I think it'll be nice to do as a couple too. Like it's something to do out of the norm, you know? So for
Yeah. Yeah, because I think like, even though you're like you have this intimate relationship, we don't often talk about because my husband's also was military, so like we don't talk about that. I don't know why. Like even though we both have that experience, we don't often find spaces where we talk about it. So I think creating that with the workbook would be so cool.
yeah, yeah. So the same for us. We talk about a lot of stuff, but I don't think we really touch base on that ever, unless it
No.
really comes up, like, which is almost never. But yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm excited. So that's my plan. So they're here. The plan is there. The intention is there. So hopefully we can do that soon. But yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So anyone that um is interested, they're on Amazon, right?
Yes, $10. The best way is to find the link in my bio at the Millennial Veteran on Instagram.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can try to search Jenna Carlton author on Amazon. Sometimes it comes up, sometimes it doesn't.
Okay. Cool. Well, I'll put the link in my bio too, and
Oh,
then
perfect.
I'll add it to the pod or link it to the podcast too. So if anyone wants
Yeah.
to get it after that, you guys can find it there. Um, but yeah, so tell me a little bit about what's been going on with you lately.
Yes, it's just been a crazy year. Like January went by so good. It was like awesome. And then February hit and all of these executive orders. And I feel like they took the federal government and just dumped it upside down and, are just going through with torches, not even
Yeah.
caring. They just want to get rid of people. It's very sad, especially with the what they're trying to do to the Veterans Affairs, the VA department. I'm in DOD, so they're not touching us as much, which is like I feel like most of the maybe corruption or, a lot of the audit needs to be for the DoD. I don't think they've gotten a good audit in a long time. But like I'm safe because I'm not a probationary employee, but they're making everyone come back to work, which has just been crazy because it's not really effective. There's like we're really productive at home. All my job is at home. I can call people. Actually, like sometimes in the office if I need help, I'd rather just call them on Teams because it's easier to see their screen. Anyhow, it's just been crazy, and now we have to do these 5 points. What did you do last week? It's been a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I was mentioning to you, like, as I wrapped up my last episode about job loss or employment loss and grieving that and going through all that for like 2 years,
Yeah.
um, I realized like this is actually going on right now for so many people close to us,
Hmm.
and all at once. And so I think right now people are definitely feeling that fear of the
Yes.
unknown and fear of losing stability and I guess fear or not even fear, but loss of validation, right? Because
Yeah.
I think we work so hard to get where we are at, and once we have it, it's kind of like all my hard work was worth it, right? And
Hmm.
so as I was also wrapping, I was thinking like how I feel like a lot of federal employees are veterans, right?
Yes,
And so,
30%.
yeah. So now we're going back to um, similar feelings of when we get out of the military, right? And grieving like that purpose and
Yeah.
trying to find a new purpose or a new way to adapt and apply what we learned or our new skills in the real world, right? In the
Yeah.
in the
Yes.
civilian world, right? So then
Yeah.
I was thinking of that too, like the parallels and how like that might be even more mentally and emotionally challenging for those everyone, because I'm not saying job loss only affects us or whatever, but
Yeah.
I was thinking like the impact that it might have to the harsher impact on veterans, because we're gonna go, I feel like we'll be back in that like beating of my mic. Um it's too early. No.
Right. It's too
Oh,
early East Coast time, and it's like 3 hours ahead of you.
I know. No, I'm fine. I'm up usually, but I'm just joking. I'm like, I don't even know how I did that. I talk with my hands too much.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, so then I was thinking about that too, and I was like, oh man, this is gonna be really, really, really rough,
Yeah.
on everyone, of course. But I think especially on the veteran and military community, because it's kind of like a double, you know. Um,
Right. Right. Like going through everything, I was like, I'm gonna need some support. So I went to the VA to get mental health, and that was over 3 weeks ago. I haven't heard from them since. But that's because like they're in chaos too. Like they're going through everything in that administration. So it's like, yeah, that's the double edge of it
no, yeah,
right
see,
there.
so that's what I'm saying though, so it's like this like vicious cycle, right?
Yeah.
Um that our community is going to kind of go through. And it's true, like I feel the VA's been backed up, right? So just adding to that issue it's not productive. Um, and so I don't know, it's just such a tough situation, but also like I've been trying to analyze. So I told my husband, like, I just want to know like the end game. Like, okay, all these things are being done, right? Okay, we're letting go here, we're doing this, okay, but what is the end game? I can be okay with the decisions if I know what the end game is. But when it's just like decision after decision after decision after decision, it's like, okay, well, where is this all going? Like, what, you know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
I think that's what also makes it hard for people to accept and come to terms with, right?
Hmm.
When it's just almost kind of like just because. I know they're saying productivity, right? It's productivity and like what is it that you said right now? My God. They're looking at did you say fraud? No.
Oh, the corruption
The
and all
corruption.
that.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. Sorry, girl. But yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I understand that that's been going on for a long time and that affects us as well too, right? So I know that that's an issue that has to be addressed, but I don't know. I think that it'd be easier and we'd be more at peace if we knew like the game plan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So,
Yes. Yeah, it's really hard to like throw huge policies at such a umbrella as the whole federal government. I mean, like each agency is so different. It's run differently by different people. They all have different needs, different tasks. And to just keep throwing like blanket policies on everyone, it's chaotic because we need to each tailor them to what works best for DoD, what works best for the VA, for Homeland Security. They're all different. And I think that's why we're all getting frustrated because we've never been lumped all together. We do completely different things. Like with my job, like we need to support the warfighter. We need to make sure that we're getting parts on ships so they can deploy safely, come home. Like, and then you have someone in the VA that's like, I need to be there for veterans. I need to supply mental health. Like they're totally different tasks. They're going to go about different things and they support different teams. So it's just really hard to throw us all together.
yeah, no, definitely. So, and that's how I see it too, you know? And like I said, it's like a recurring conversation. I'm like, I just want to understand. Like, I want a little bit more depth, you know? So,
Yeah.
I mean, and I think for everyone, I think that would be helpful, you know? Like, it doesn't take away from the fact that people are losing their jobs and whatever that's going to impact their life personally, right? But I think it just would make the transition a little bit easier, you know? Like,
Yeah, it wouldn't seem so senseless.
yes,
And like why am I having to go back to work when I'm just as productive at home? Like what really is the point if it was really about productivity? Like that's what just frustrates me. It's like it's impossible to be a mom or a parent really, like be there for your kids, which is one of the most biggest factors as how they're going to develop is how often you're around them and supporting them. And then trying to make you can't it's hard to live off one income in a household now. It just seems like really so much pressure is put on parents and families that it seems impossible.
yeah, no, making that decision is hard. And you know, another thing too that I've noticed or I've talked about, so my best friend too, she's in the process of looking for employment, because she was laid off and she was looking at some remote positions. Um, and so it's crazy to think too, like some positions are literally in another state and you're working remote.
Yeah.
So when you have to go back into the office, that would mean you would have to relocate, right? So um, that kind of seems a little drastic and unrealistic. Like, you know, there's a job in Pennsylvania, but you're working from home in California. So now you got to go back in the office. So what are you supposed to do? You know,
Yeah.
so, and not only that too, there's been other positions she's looked at, and it's like in San Diego, and she's like kind of LA County. So like making that commute every day, I'm sure people do it, but
Yeah.
it's crazy. And so her thing is too, like, who's gonna pick up the girls? Like
Right.
who's gonna be here by the time I get here, you know? And she's a
Yeah.
single parent. So if it's
Mm.
hard on two parent family, right?
Yeah.
So what happens to those that are single parents, you know? So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even more pressure.
yeah.
It really sucks. If she needs any help with her resume or anything, I found some really great sites and
Okay.
really great like remote work career finders. So
Yeah.
yeah, let me know.
Okay, awesome. I'll let her know because I know that she's like stressing and working really hard on that. So, she's been
Yeah.
doing that for a little bit. Um, and yeah, I'll let her know. And then also I was gonna say like it's so hard to find a job right now. Like it's so freaking hard out here, man. Like
It is.
I lost my full-time job, for those of you that listened or saw the podcast, 2 years ago in March. And I've yet to find a full-time job. I have 3 degrees and I have a technical degree. And so I still can't find a full-time job. You know, my husband lost his job in this June will be 2 years. Still
Mm.
can't find a job. And we're both veterans. And we've applied for federal jobs. We've applied, yeah, I mean, it's we cannot find full-time employment. So I think like I feel like the job market is flooded of people that need employment. And
Yeah.
now it's going to be even more so. So what's going to happen? I'm scared.
It is scary, and that was part of the reason I didn't want to take the deferment. Just like I don't know, like I need my most important thing is to secure income for my family. You know, I didn't want to sign anything just in case, even though like it is impossible. Like they're either going to terminate me when I can't show up 4 days a week for 10 hours every day. It's like, but I feel like I'm okay because I have a huge network and have a lot of people that I can reach out to, but like not everyone has that, you know?
Yeah.
It's
No, and
scary. And I
it's
feel like that's the only way I'm really getting true leads on jobs is through people, not
no,
through applying.
no, absolutely. So my husband and I have that conversation a lot too, where like it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah,
Literally. It
yes.
that's literally what it is. And it's cool, but it's not cool, right? Because, like, for example, for many of us, like even my best friend, she's a veteran too. I met her in the Marine Corps.
Okay.
And she has an education. She's got a bachelor's under her belt, you know, and she's worked for a prestigious company for a long time. So she has great experience, right? And
Mm-hmm.
she's still struggling to find employment. And so, like, yeah, like you said, if you have a good network and you know some people, then you most likely will be okay, you know? But if you
Yeah.
don't,
And most of us veterans are all over the place. Like, I'm nowhere near where I grew up or have any roots down where I live. Like, we just moved to New Jersey. And, like a lot of veterans are like that. They get out and they'll
yeah.
either stay in the town because they find a job. There's
Mhm.
lots of jobs by bases. But when that job goes away, it's like they don't really have family around. They don't have that social capital that you would have if your family lived somewhere for generations.
No, it's true. It's very true.
And that's how so many people get jobs. Like, my dad knew this person, or my mom worked with them and they got me a job there. Like,
Yeah, and that's honestly kind of how we are. So like I have some friends in North Carolina and I was like, "Hey, do you guys know anybody that's hiring remotely?" I mean, because I was like, we need jobs, you know?
yeah,
And so the only people I know are like spread out. So exactly what you said, you know?
yeah.
Um, whoever is kind of close by is either retired from the military, not really working, um, or same thing, lost their job and just got a job, so can't really fit us in anywhere, you know? So it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
been that same thing, like where we've been like, well, the people that we know are not really close by, you know? My
Yep.
other best friend, he just retired from the army 2 years ago, and he retired in Wisconsin because that's where his wife is. from.
Oh, okay.
And he was just like, in my field, my technical field, there's tons of jobs out there. So he was like,
Really?
yes, well paid for Wisconsin. Like,
What? That's where I'm from.
really? No
Yeah.
way. Oh my God, that's crazy. Yeah, so actually my job sent me there for some training in September. So he's like, take advantage, look, and so culture shock for sure for
Oh my
me
gosh,
going from
yeah.
California to, everybody's
Yes.
super nice. It was just different, super
Yeah.
nice. Just I don't know, it was different, but I had a great time. It was nice. But I was like, oh, I don't know. I mean, I think my husband and I eventually could like acclimate, but I don't know about my kids. I think it would be a little too hard right now. So I was like, oh, but
Yeah,
there, I
that's a
mean,
huge change.
tons of well-paying jobs. And so he was like, you guys should consider it. So then I told him, I was like, well, my husband would have to find a job. So there's job security for me, clearly, right? So I was like, okay, I'm not worried about me, but he would have to secure a job first, I feel like, because then we're gonna be in the same situation, right? We're gonna
Yeah.
relocate for me to be the only one being employed. And guess what? We families need two sources of income at this day and
Yep.
age. Unfortunately,
Hmm.
it's just too expensive.
Yeah.
So, anyway, but yeah, like even that, like considering relocating and uprooting your family, and it's not easy, you know?
Yeah.
No, it's not easy. And so same, like who the connections I have are like everywhere. They're nowhere
Yeah.
near home.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Could I ask you, have you used any resources like veteran resources or maybe your husband that have helped you? Because I know there is a lot of like career support in the veteran
Yeah.
world.
So, okay, so I went through voc rehab because
Oh,
I'm
wow.
still in the program or whatever. They can't place me anywhere. Don't get me started on that.
Ugh, I've heard like really great things. Everyone raves about it. And then I've heard just awful things about the counselors or the people that are supposed to help you.
That right there.
And
So,
they're all getting
yeah.
cut right now.
So that's what I told my husband. I'm like, so I'm not gonna say names, but he watches this and sees my name. He's gonna know I'm talking about him, but whatever. People like him should be, but
Right.
that's time wasted, I mean, misuse of resources, XYZ,
Yeah.
years from the beginning that I have been in this program. This has been my person from day
Yeah.
one. It's been like that. It's
I've
always been
just
like
heard
that.
awful things like
Yes,
about everyone's counselor. I don't get it.
but they have job security. I don't understand. I'll gladly do that job and I will bend over backwards to help any veteran get back on their
Yeah.
feet. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. So I went through that. I'm still in that. Actually, he just sent me an email this week asking if things have gone as planned. Planned how? I've been asking you for help for 2 years, telling you. I told him, I was like, we're gonna end up in a box somewhere with a family living out of a cardboard box.
Mm,
Oh, we're not going to let that happen. Okay, but you have though,
yeah.
because I haven't had support or we haven't gotten ahead. No thanks to him. No. So
That's
okay, so we did
horrible.
that. Then I went through the EDD system, the veteran EDD system where they try to place you in a job. Same thing. And it was the veteran department. He was great. My counselor, he was in the army. He was awesome. And same thing, he was like, I just don't know why you guys aren't getting called. Like, and for certain jobs,
Yeah.
it's like, you guys are guaranteed at least an interview, like, because you're veterans, right? And we wouldn't even get that. We just get like side like nope, not you, no thank you. We went with somebody else.
Ugh,
And so yeah, we've used a couple of resources. I know someone else too, in North Carolina. They do like coaching for military couples, and one of the spouses does like employment finding, like recruiting kind of
okay.
for
Yeah.
veterans. We went through him too. Nothing. So like trust me, we've like tried to exhaust all our options. So I'm like,
Right.
oh my God, universe, like why? You know,
Yes. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, at least I have some tools. Like, I know communities I can tap into. I know, like, we have access to mentors. We have a lot of career support. Like, even on top of that, it's hard. That's what I just want to point out because I feel it too.
yeah,
I
no,
mean,
yeah.
that's why like my husband went to like work what he's doing because it's a place where they're always hiring because it's hard to place.
No, no, it is. It really is. And I think people don't understand that. Like, I know sometimes people mean well, but they'll be like, well, have you applied here? Yes.
Oh,
Apply-
yeah.
You know, I'm like, there's tons of jobs. I saw they're hiring at Walmart. I know, and we didn't get hired. Like, we're overqualified.
Yeah.
Trust me, seasonal, you think we didn't? And we made a
Yeah.
plan like, hey, you'll work these nights or I'll work like whatever. We're not being like, oh, we're too good to work there. No, it's about surviving, right? Like right now, we're
Hmm.
not beggars can be choosers. Like it's about survival, right? So, yeah. And so sometimes I know people mean well, but sometimes too, I'm like, you think like I'm just sitting here like, oh,
I know. It's like when's the last time you were looking for a job
yeah.
and how did you get that? Because that's the only way you'll be able to relate.
Yeah, no, definitely. And so sometimes that kind of bothers me, because I'm like, yes, I have. Like, if, for example, for Voc Rehab, I tried to get an extension on my education benefits because I was like, look, I can't find a job. So clearly, most jobs, and I proved it, most jobs want masters. I don't know why.
Mhm.
I don't think it's necessary, but cool. So I was like, maybe that's going to be the solution. Like, I'm still in the program, blah, blah, blah. I turned in a stack. When I say a stack of at least 40 denials. And I'm like, this is like, I'm proving to you, I'm applying. I'm not sitting here
Yeah.
saying I'm not. And that was at the point that I did that. That's not till
Hmm.
now. You know what I mean? That was like a year ago or so that I tried to do that. So it's not like I'm not sitting around actively applying, and my husband too.
Exactly. And like in my video that went really viral, I said that I applied to over, I think, 300 jobs. And people were like, oh my gosh, what? Like, that's crazy. Like, you must not have any qualifications. And I was like, no, it was 2020. Like, no one was hiring, but
Right.
still, like, that just shows you like how, like, I would apply to like three a day or something. Like, and it
Yeah.
was over a long time period. I think it was over a year. And the only way I got my job was through someone I knew who
Exactly.
worked in the government and could like push my paper a little further on the desk,
Yeah.
my resume. And that's how I
No,
got the only job.
no, and people don't understand that, like, and that's what I'm saying. Whether they mean well or they're just like, but sometimes I just feel like, seriously, like you really think I have you? It's hard. And then an application, Jenna, that's like a whole day process, like hours. An application nowadays is not like well, I'm probably way older than you, but it's not like before where you just put your general information and then you attach your resume and that's it. You have to re-input your resume into their application. I don't
Yeah.
understand why, right? And you have to fill out all this elaborate stuff. An application process, one, is probably 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah, I can only do one a day
Yeah,
now, like while I'm working. Like
yeah.
I set a goal one a day because it is a lot. I have found some like cool websites that I'll share with you, which like
Okay.
uses AI for your resume and your cover letter, which has been really awesome. But it hasn't, I don't know if it works. Like I haven't gotten a call back yet. So, but I've only been using it a week.
Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, we would love that. That sounds cool. But yeah, no, it's just it's it's hard out here, guys.
It
It's
is, and
rough.
it's like it hurts your ego every time you get an email saying we went with someone
Yes.
else, or like we're looking for someone with a better match. Even though you're like, okay, my heart wasn't set on that, it's just still like, further proof like you're not close to where you need to be.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm glad you said that because that's so true. Like it is such an ego crusher, because
Hmm.
and then yeah, because I do that. My husband too, like I feel so bad when I see him and get another like denial and he's just like, why? It just sucks because I know exactly how he's feeling because I'm kind of in the same boat, and it sucks. I don't even know how
Yeah.
to explain it. Yeah, you think like, what's not good enough about my anything, right? Like
Yeah.
your experience, your education, your background. You start like thinking like, is it me? Is it some?
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard not to. And yeah, you take it personal when you realize like it's probably just like AI scanning these resumes, really.
I think that's
So,
the, oh, sorry, go ahead.
oh, that's why I've started using AI to build my resumes because I'm like, if they're just like, there's not a person scanning these, like it's just a machine. You need to play the game that they're playing, otherwise, it's not fair.
Yeah, no, definitely, because that's something we've been doing too. So, we're trying to make your vocabulary match, right? Because
Yep.
clearly
Hmm.
they're just, filtering it through. And so, yeah, so the same thing. I'm like, I wish I could see the resume of the person that did get chosen. Yeah, I could just take
Yes.
some
Why
points
don't
off
they
of
do
that.
that? Yeah. Have you ever asked for like an interview like after like a follow up? I've never done that, but I've always like heard
No.
of people doing that.
I haven't, and you know what I don't do either? Probably just because the ego thing, but like I don't like send a follow-up email like, oh, thank you for, letting me, whatever. I don't. I'm just like, all right, bye. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I haven't really either. I think I did that in like college when I was applying to like internships and stuff because they told you to do that.
Uh,
But you never know, like maybe that might go a long way. It's just like I know how email systems work and it's all automatic. It really is. Like there's really not even a human gonna get your response. And I
yeah.
think that's where I've become more jaded. Um, and people say, "Oh, look up the hiring manager on LinkedIn." And I'm like, I don't even know where to start. So look for that.
No, and sometimes it's not even on there because we've done the same thing. Or
Yeah, they're really hidden. They don't want to be. They probably don't
contacted.
have a LinkedIn. Yeah.
Or the same thing, like my husband has gone in physically because like after a while of getting denied and denied, he's like, they're not even looking at it. And he was like, he's like, I'm old school. Like I feel like they should meet me. Like if they see who I like, what I'm
Yeah.
like get a sense of my personality or whatever, right? So that's what he started doing. He just printed out his resume. He started going like to places and stuff and asking for managers. And most of the time they're like, manager's not here. They're in a meeting. Oh, we'll let them know. Did you apply online? And be like, yes, I already applied.
Right. Did you apply online? That's what you're gonna get.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
So
love how he's old school. That's
yeah, he like goes way out of his way. Like he was literally, and they're like, oh, apply online. He's
someone
like,
might like that.
I hope so, but yeah, so he's done that too because he's just like, okay, this isn't working. Let's see if being more personable, right? Like that'll help. But so far, no luck. I'm just hoping that whatever he'll land where he's meant to be. I don't know. I'm trying to be as positive as I can after being so negative. For
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
you gotta be.
yeah, so I'm hoping, but yeah, it's been hard though. It really has. It's not, the job market is really hard right now and I don't know, man, it's tough. And so I feel for the people that are starting to go through that right now. So,
And I feel like the government hasn't given me it. Sure, there's some skills that would translate, but it's just such a different language, different systems. I've been using my cat card since I was 18 to access everything, all DoD websites.
Yep,
And like the software is so outdated that we use. I feel like it is going to kind of put me behind in the civilian sector. Like,
I
yeah,
know.
I'm a
Yeah,
little.
so those are all things I think that people don't realize either, right? So I that's a great point. So for those of you that are working in that sector, right, having to learn the technology that's being used elsewhere, having to
Yeah.
adapt to that fast, and finding someone that's willing to train you too, because my best friend that I'm telling you is looking for employment here too. That's another thing she noticed. She's like, people, they don't want to waste time on training you. They want to know that you know how to use the systems so that
Hmm.
they can hire you and put you to work.
Yes, but so I if you're an employee out there, if you're a federal employee, you should have access to LinkedIn Learning for free
Oh,
through your um agency's website. They should have like every DoD or every department has training. You might have access to
oh,
LinkedIn Learning. I do. So I get all those courses for free. And that's how I'm learning up on all the other different softwares that I might be using. Also, Act Now Education. Have you heard of them?
no.
They're it's a nonprofit. You take a course with them on a Saturday. It's 2 hours. They teach you
Oh,
how to use their website. It's all encompassing. So you'll go through it. They'll show you how to look for jobs, build the resume. You can like I bought the AI resume that I was telling you about because it's so
yes.
nice. I think it's like $20 a month. It's worth it to me. It saves so much time. But then
Okay.
you also get access to Coursera, all their courses for free, and you can get free certificates. So I'm working on Google data analytics, and you could just find a whole new career, and they're hiring a lot. So I was like, let's go for this.
Oh, cool. All right. Okay, well, thanks for sharing that because we're definitely going to use that, and I'm sure that's beneficial for a lot of people out there. At least I know a couple of people that can use that. So thanks for that.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
if what I said was kind of confusing, go to Act Now Education. They have a Facebook group, and any question you have has been asked there, and you can just look through there and
Oh, cool.
and see more what it's about.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Yay.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, oh my God, I'm glad we got together because you have some good resources that
Yes, I'm
yes.
learning a lot, and I'm taking advantage of what I can because yeah,
No,
it's a scary
definitely.
time.
No, it is a scary time. And I think a lot of us don't know exactly where to look, and or we're not aware of the resources that are available, like maybe we've used like for us, I know we've exhausted what we do know and have, but
Hmm.
for example, like the ones that you've shared, like we had no idea. I didn't. So yeah.
Oh.
So we're gonna work on those now.
Yeah, I'll send you everything, and I'll send you the remote work. Again, like I was one of those people. I was like, I'm not paying for anything. Like I should get everything for free. But actually, this website, I think it's like $4 for a month. It's really cheap, but like old me would have done it. But now I'm just like, okay, like Indeed, LinkedIn jobs, all of those are not giving me options I want. But this Flex Jobs is remote jobs all around the world.
Okay,
And
that's cool.
it's like different companies that I've never seen on LinkedIn. Um, and there's just so many more jobs on there. So
Okay.
again, I haven't gotten a call back from any of them, but I've been only using it a week, but I'll send you that website too.
Okay, for sure. And then I'll add that to the link on the podcast so anyone that needs it can access that too. So thank you.
Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing. And I appreciate you so much. I appreciate everything that you do. I know I've told you before. Um, and I appreciate like your bravery on speaking out on something that's so difficult right now. And I think that I'm sure you've gotten some backlash, but also I think you were able to open conversations or, yeah, lead people to information that they didn't know was available, or feel more
Hmm.
comfortable to express how they're feeling too, because I'm sure, it's a difficult position to be in right now,
Yeah.
especially as a federal employee because, you know,
Yeah. I want to speak out so much more, but I'm like,
I know you can't. I know.
don't be stupid.
I get it. No, I get it. And so, but I mean, and that's why, with that being
Hmm.
said, I, that's why I'm saying that. So,
Yeah.
I
Thank
appreciate
you.
that. Yeah, I appreciate that in you, and for the rest of us that are being affected like you are, and, yeah, that's why, girl. That's why you're where you're at and you are who you are because you got that
Oh,
like passion. I love it. Yeah. So thank you for
thank
that.
you. Well,
Yes.
thanks for having me. This was so uplifting. I emailed you last time. I'm like, this is just gonna be a nice girl chat. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, we needed this. So
Yes, for
I
sure.
appreciate
Well,
you
thank
having
you
me.
again. Yeah, thank you for being a guest again. I love having you. You're awesome. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you for being there for me too. You're awesome. Your posts, whenever we like connect every now and then, like just makes me feel good. Like, you know what I
Oh,
mean?
I love
Yeah.
that.
So thank you
Thank
so much.
you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
And for everyone listening and watching, thanks for joining us too. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope it was useful. We got some great resources that we're going to share thanks to Jenna. And yeah, so we'll catch you next time. Remember to get out there, move your body, get your steps in, work out, release that stress. Okay, remember to drink your celery juice and make moto moves. We'll catch you next time. Bye, guys.